Okay, good morning. My name is Paula Almiron. I work on participants management, and today we are going to do this presentation on the budget amendment with my colleagues Chantal Brueggemann and Giulia Marenghi. The agenda for today are some updates to start on the participants management realm. Then we will go through the budget amendment timeline, an overview of the process, and finally, we will mention a step-by-step guide on how to amend your budget on Plaza. In our participant management updates, we would like to highlight that next week we will have another participants cafe. This is going to be our third session. This is a space that we have to drop in questions regarding operations and also to network with other fellow participants. Please bear in mind that it lasts 45 minutes and it's a really good place to start and meet new colleagues in EIT Food. We also have the participants group at Hive. This is an exclusive group for participants, and we have more than 340 members already. There we allocate key operational information, we share some news, and you can also do the same to connect with other participants and also share important information about your organization and actions that could lead to more consortia or more activities or businesses in our system. We also have the participants YouTube playlist, and there we upload webinars and trainings, so you can watch these webinars in advance. And also there is some useful materials that you can find there. The next EIT Food funding open call, the Impact Funding Framework, is going to open in June. We will share more details when they are public, but please be aware of this. And if you would like to present a proposal, you can start preparing. There are some cost eligibility webinars that are online and we recommend. There you have the links. We are going to share this presentation later on, so you can check them later. Okay, so just to be sure that we are all aligned, please use the participants at eitfood.eu as your single contact point email. We resolve there all your operational questions. If you have a question regarding finance, legal, funding, or in general, the grant cycle, these are the different steps that you need to comply as part of EIT Food or as being an EIT Food funded organization or projects. You have EIT Food funded projects. You need to comply to these different elements of the grant cycle. So if you have questions regarding that, please contact us there. If you encounter any issues on Plaza, the email that you need to reach out to is support@eitfood.eu. And finally, we would like to ask you to please add your participant code, your CAVA code, and the CAVA title in all of your queries, because this simplifies our work immensely. So thank you very much. I'm going to ask Chantal to take the floor.
Thank you, Paula, and welcome also from our side, the grants team, Giulia and myself. You would like to explain a little bit what the early year or spring amendment will be about this year, and we decided to have two amendments for this year because we received a lot of requests from participants and program managers as well to open Plaza for additional participants mainly, but not only. Also, there are some other requests that we received, so we wanted to have that opportunity already in April to change budget requests mainly. So it would be important for the midterm report that comes later on, and I will also go over that a little bit later. To have the budget more or less in a good state. Later on in Q4, so we foresee mid-October, November, we have a regular amendment where you can also change deliverables and so on, just like the last one in last November. But we now only focus on budget amendments. And if you are aware of some participants that are still need to be added in Plaza, I would like to let you know that there are still some that are ongoing the onboarding process. So we have not had the chance to add them all to Plaza yet, but the big majority of them is currently already added in Plaza and ready for you, for the activity leaders, to add budget to each of the participants. So we hope to get the last ones or the pending ones still onboarded maybe today, or then latest during the amendment phase, that you also have the chance to correct their budget or add their budget to Plaza. Also different this time is that the consolidation may already happen before the end of the amendment, so before the 17th of May. So we do that on a rolling basis. Whenever the activity leader has entered the budget correctly and the PM approved, we are ready to consolidate it from our side so that the contracting later on can be initiated as soon as possible. As we know, some of the carvers need urgent contracting, and so to ensure that we will do that as soon as you are ready, but also be aware that only so that one carver only can be amended once. So once it's consolidated, you cannot change it again. So you have to really be sure that the budget changes you submitted are correct. Next slide, please. The overview, and this is quite similar to last time. In the phase one, the activity leader needs to align with the finance contacts of each of the participants in the carver. And then the activity leader is the only person that can enter budget changes in Plaza. That's a technical restriction here. And that needs to be done before the 17th of May, just because then the amendment phase ends. But as I said, you can do it before already. So it will open on Monday. So if you enter it already on Monday, then of course you don't have to wait until the end to let the program manager know that the budget is correct and changed. After that, the budget change approval phase can start. So the program managers need to check also with the finance contacts whether they agree or not on the budget changes, and then approves it. And then it will come to our side, where we again check if everything looks fine or not, get back to eventually or consolidate the budget, and then hand it over to the legal department. Next slide. The outlook then is, if a new participant got added, as I said, we will hand over to legal that they can initiate the cover agreement, and then the pre-financing can start right after. If you had any budget changes for existing participants, then of course only the annex of the cover agreement will be changed and attached to the Plaza files. Then later on in 2024, we plan to open the reporting and monitoring in June and July. This year, we will report the costs, and the monitoring will cover also the reporting of the technical report. Then the panel will start presumably in September, the monitoring panel, and then, as I said in the beginning, another amendment phase will start around October, November for also amending deliverables and so on. Next slide. I think that was it from my side. So I hand over to Giulia to go over the technicalities of the Plaza amendment.
Yes,
Thank you.
Chantal. And hello,
Thank you.
everyone. So, yeah, Paula, go on, please.
Sorry to jump in. Thank you, Chantal, and thank you, Giulia. Please drop in any questions on the chat. We will cover all of these questions at the end of the webinar. Thank you.
Okay, so let's go through the steps you have to follow to implement your budget changes during this amendment in Plaza. So let's go to the first slide, Paula. Thanks. So first of all, you have to locate your activity in the activity editor. So to access the Cava, you have to enter the Plaza homepage, check the current activities tab, and click on Activity Editor. There, you will be able to select your activity after selecting the relevant business plan, so 23-25, and select also the year of interest, 24 or 2025, in which you want to apply your budget changes. Next slide, please. So before even starting with the budget modification, just a recap on the budget terminology. So you will see that we refer to budgets with three different definitions. You have the original budget, which was the one originally submitted to EIT in the original SGA. You will have the current budget, which is the budget that is allocated right now to your activity, and then the pending budget. Pending budget means the budget modified that you are requesting EIT Food to approve. As Chantal was mentioning, only when the budget is current, it means that it's allocated to the activity. So to be sure that the pending budget changes you have introduced are actually integrated, they have to become current budget. Next slide, please. And before implementing any budget change, you should do a couple of preliminary checks in the activity editor. So first of all, you should check that in the partners tab of the Cava you are modifying budget for, all the participants who have budgets in the Cava are listed down. In case they are not listed, please reach out to us. Indeed, as Chantal was saying, some participants are still in the process of being onboarded, so we may have to follow up on those. Second check you should perform is that the task you have to add budget to, because we remind you budget is added per participant and per task, is actually running in the year in which you want to modify budget for. For example, if you want to modify some budget in 2025 for a task that runs only in 2024, you will not be allowed to. So you have first to modify the task duration and prolong it until 2025. Then you will be able to modify the budget line in that year. Next slide, please. So now let's get to the meaty part. So how to modify budget. So after having selected the business plan of reference, the activity code, and year of reference, in the activity editor, you select the budget tab, here highlighted below. So this is the one in which you modify budget lines. And you can either add a brand new budget line by adding the budget line on clicking on the Add Budget button. This is the case, for example, of a brand new budget line that you have to add for a brand new participant that has been added to your activity, who doesn't have any budget line yet. You add it in this way. So you click on the Add Budget. Once the budget line is created and you want to modify cost category or the budget line itself, or you want to modify existing budget lines, you have to fall into the second case, which is change current budget lines. You change the current budget lines by clicking on the small edit icon you see on the very left of the budget overview. And now we will, in the next slide, dive into the detail of the outlook you see when you modify an existing budget line. So you insert your new target budget in the budget table at the bottom of the window. So you see it's the right column, new target budget. If you do not want to modify a specific cost category, no need to reinsert the amount. The system will still consider that the current budget is the one you want to keep. You only have to insert those lines that you want to modify. You have to insert the reason for a change. You see from the start, it's a mandatory field, so not possible to submit without it. And then you have several options. You can either save the changes. Like this, you can keep working later on the budget change request, or submit immediately. Just please consider that if the changes are not submitted, then they will not be considered by EIT Food for approval and consolidation. So in order for them to be included in the approval workflow, you always have to submit them. You can check the workflow status from this same window. So you see there is a workflow status option, and you can see that submitted is basically the step by the activity leader. So you can check if your change has been submitted. Approved is the step of approval by your program manager. And finally, the last step is consolidation. So integration of the budget change into the current budget. So from here, you can easily track the status of your budget change request. And next slide, please. So we have gathered some usual suspects, so very recurrent cases that activity leaders have been experiencing also in past amendment phases. You will receive the presentation later after the webinar, so you can always refer to this slide in case something is going wrong with your budget modification. But of course, this is not comprehensive, and we ask you, of course, to reach out to us via the modalities Paula will present you so that we can tackle the issues. And I believe the Plaza training part is over, so we can pass to the questions.
Thank you, Giulia and Chantal. We have many questions from the attendees. Okay, let's start from the beginning. So the first question that we have is from Malen Lund. She's asking, is there anything different since last time, since the last amendment? Would you like to make any comments on this?
Well, the difference this time is that in the April amendment, we only open the budget for changes, and then only later on it will be the same procedure as last year.
Okay, perfect. Thank you. We have another question from Mari Lumanka. She's asking, do I understand correctly that the CAVA agreement needs to be updated at each amendment phase? Sorry.
Also, this I can take. So the CAVA agreement is or has an activity plan as an annex. So this can be found in Plaza as a PDF in the files section, and we only update this activity plan as part of the agreement.
Okay, we have another question. It says the timeline overlaps with the communities. How do you plan to manage that? This is a question from Mirko Micheli. We can take this question later on. I don't know.
Yes, it's my question. I really would like to understand because there is an overlap, and I already added like another question that for the EIT communities, Giulia was in the meeting with the cluster coordinator yesterday. There will be a special amendment that will be open in May for including culture and creativity. So there are like some overlaps that I feel that it's together with the other EIT communities. I don't know whether addressing needs is the same as any other projects for EIT Food or the EIT communities. So everything that goes under the grant agreement of the EIT communities should be addressed separately, because otherwise we end up having like the same timeline and basically for the coordinators, they have to report in the funding and tender portal, which is where all this information will go to the EIT. So I find it like a little bit confusing at the moment.
Okay,
Request.
I can
Okay.
take this one just quickly, Mirko. We will set up a meeting especially for cross-kicks
Okay.
and HEI,
Okay.
as we did
Okay.
for the, I believe, also the previous amendment. So we
Okay,
can
then,
tackle these
okay.
are more specific issues. Yeah.
Okay. Thank you
Yes.
very much.
I also want to add on here. So the amendment is
Sorry.
just an opportunity for you to make budget changes. So it's not anywhere. So you don't have to if you don't have any changes. So if you don't have an addition of a participant or something similar, then you don't have to go through this amendment and just ignore.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. Thank you very much.
Yes, thank you, Chantal, Giulia, and Mirko. Please remember that in this meeting we have program managers from EIT Food and EIT Food activity leaders, but also externals. So if there is a specific question, please, we can handle that in a one-to-one meeting. Okay, we go to the next question from Marilu Manca. The amendment concerns to the 2024 budget, or it also includes 2025? This is also a question from Chat City.
I can take this one. Yes, it includes 24 and 25, so you can modify both. Basically, we address the entire total cover budget.
Okay, we have another question from Marilu Manca. She is asking for specifications on the type of modifications that are allowed. For example, is only to move a budget from 2024 to 2025, or can we change budget categories?
I can take this one too. Yes, you can do both, either modify cost categories or shift budget from one year to the other. That's up to you.
Okay, we have one question from Nessie. Can underspending from 2023 be moved to 2024, 2025 in this budget amendment?
I can take this one as well. So for this specific budget amendment, we refer to 24 and 25. For the 2023 underspent, there will be a separate procedure. So for this, you will get to know, we will contact later the activity leaders on the procedure.
Okay, perfect. Let's go to other questions here. Can activity leaders add new members to CAVAs, modify task descriptions? Will tabs be unlocked? This is a question from Milda.
So for the tasks, yes, you can modify the task definition and duration. The tab will be unlocked. For the members as well. So you will have the possibility to add all the people that basically contributes to your Kava. And was there any other tab that she was asking in particular? It was members
no.
and...
She was
Okay.
asking about members and tasks. So she just if the tabs will
Perhaps,
be unlocked.
Paula, Giulia, I think the tab with descriptions is also very important because it contains cost justifications, which might change with the budget amendment.
The description tab was not really previewed because the actually the description of the budget, we will take into consideration the one that you insert in the budget tab. So when you enter a new budget line, the budget description there, and when you want to modify some budget, the justification of the budget modification. This is what we will consider for this amendment.
Okay, we have another question from Marilu Manca. She's stating, I'm assuming it is not possible to transfer a budget from a partner to another or from a participant to another.
I can take this. So in theory, it's allowed to change from one participant to another. You need to justify, and also everyone needs to agree. But in theory, it's not a problem.
So we have another question on EIT communities. We will take that question later on. And then we have a question from Clementina Piani. In this amendment phase, it is possible to modify budgets and tasks. We have already answered that. So then we are asked about the Participants Cafe. We will share the link after this session. With also a placeholder. We have a question from Shatsiri. Who would have access to modified information to the members tab? I think it has been covered. And then we have a question from Lara Rodriguez Ortega, and she's asking, or she's explaining that she has a situation where probably some of the new project participants are not yet within Plaza or signed the paperwork before the deadline. Will we have the chance to include new participants with budget on the next amendment window?
Yes, of course.
Okay, perfect. And then we have a question from Elena. Do I understand correctly that participant finance contacts will only have to view the budget and make sure if it is correct after the activity leader makes the changes, but they will not have to approve any of the changes?
I can take this one. Yes, correct. It will be the program manager who actually approves the changes.
Okay, then we have a question about the recording. We will try to send the recording today after editing the file. Risa Dimaki is asking, can you please confirm that the underspending from 2023 will be made available to Cavas to add 2024-2025? I think we have covered that question. If it is not clear, Krisa, let us know. We go to the next question from Mari Lumanka. Is it possible that more than one person from the activity leader organization get the rights to make the amendment changes?
No, we only have one activity leader per activity. It's unless, of course, the activity leader knows that, for example, they will be on holidays or not available, then in that case, feel free absolutely to reach out to us so that in the period the person will be off, we can allocate another activity leader temporarily.
Okay, perfect. Do we have more questions? I think that we have covered all of them. Okay, perfect. Let me double check. So we have a question from Christoph here. Do we expect Plaza to be used as the reporting platform in 2024? So this is a very good question.
I can take this one. So for 2024, I cannot really speak, but for sure, interim reporting 2024, I believe it will be still in Plaza. Then we will see next year how it goes.
So we have our new COO in the call. So please, Rafael, if you would like to make any comments.
No, well, I think Giulia's right. During the summer, we're going to have the first release of internally of the replacement of Plaza. Plaza won't be here next year, but it's still going to be used for most of the processes that are coming in the coming month. We'll communicate about that. So right now, keep using Plaza because that's the source of truth, and that's of course the source of truth that we will migrate to Salesforce that we're developing with the business operation team.
Thank you, Rafael. We have another question from Marilu. When will the next reporting phase take place?
I think the next reporting is the midterm reporting, and that will start mid of June and will be open until, I believe, almost for 2 months. So to also respect vacation and holiday plans.
Okay, so if we don't have more questions, we are going to send this recording later on. Thank you very much for coming today. Okay, we have another question. This is like, okay, so, and then February 2025, so we will have another reporting phase in February 2025?
Yes.
Yes, perfect. Okay, thank you very much for coming today. If you have more questions, please contact us at participants@eitfood.eu. We will share this recording shortly. And well, if you have more questions, we can also arrange one-to-one to solve any questions or doubts. Okay, thank you very much. Have a lovely afternoon.